Hello, folks. Thank you for joining us here. And joining us here for Public Affairs, by the way, I'm your host. My name is John Peterson. Today, we are talking with the mayor from Marion, Mr. Schertzer. We're going to be talking about the current events here that we are interested in right here now in November of 2021. And Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for being here and all the events that are current we can talk about, the public affairs as they are. Again, welcome and thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. It's always good to be here with you at TV 39. It's hard to believe that we're getting ready to wrap up 2021. And I think and I hope if most of your viewers are like me, we're all looking forward to a better 2022. That's for sure.
Yeah. So we're in that time frame, and some housekeeping things, I suppose. There are people out there that leaves are falling and they're building up in their front yard, and they have been told that the city will come get them if they bring them out to the tree lawn or whatever. Can you give us can you fill in the details?
Absolutely. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. So, yes, this is the time of the year where the leaves start to drop, and in the past week we've had some fluctuation in our temperatures. It got really cold. We got a little snow, then we got some rain. So the leaves really have started to drop in the last 7 days. And like we do every year, we ask you to rake your leaves to the curb. Please do not put them in the gutter, because the gutter is for the rainwater, and that could cause street flooding and even basement flooding in some of our neighborhoods that are older than our newer ones, obviously. So just want to make sure that everybody understands that we don't actually come into your yard and rake your leaves. You have to get them down to the curb, and we come along with these big vacuum trucks and we suck up all these leaves and take them to a spot that we have in the city where they just biodegrade naturally. So do not put them in the curbs, not in the gutters. Please keep them on the tree lawn or off of the city streets. I think most people do a really good job of not putting them where they're not supposed to be, but occasionally we'll be driving through the city and we'll find someone who puts them where they're not supposed to be. So please be careful there. There are real reasons that we tell you not to put them in the curbs and gutters. We will be ending this service of our leaf collection on Friday, December the 10th. Now, I say we're ending it Friday, December the 10th, but we're still going to have a truck out there just in case we miss somebody, or just in case that you don't get those leaves raked to the curb before December the 10th. But we're not going to be around much longer after that, because the weather starts getting cold and bitter, and the leaves will freeze because they're wet and they're awful hard to get up. We're also going to end our curbside yard waste collection on the same day, Friday, December the 10th. Now, if you don't want to wait on the city for us to come by and get your leaves or get your yard waste, you as a city resident can take them to Outdoor Resource Supply on Barks Road and drop them off there yourselves. Please put your biodegradable material in a biodegradable paper bag.
Yeah.
I think we all know what they are by now, but we like to remind folks that you don't have to wait on us. You can take them out to Barks Road on your own. It's not convenient for everybody, but some people like to do that. You may have to show proof that you are a city resident if you go out there. This is a service that the city has and that we provide, and we only provide it for city residents. So you might want to have a driver's license, a city utility bill to prove that you are a city resident. But this is a long-standing service that we have when it comes to leaf collection and curbside yard waste pickup. And we always pick up that yard waste the day after that we pick up your trash. So we'll talk about some holiday hours and whether trash will be picked up on certain days, because we have holidays coming up. But if you have any questions on anything that I just mentioned when it comes to leaves and curbside pickup, you can always call City Hall. Just use the general telephone number. Ask for the City Garage. It's 740-387-2020. Also keep in mind that this is not an on-demand service for the leaf collection. You may rake your leaves on a Saturday and Sunday and get them down to the curb. You may live on the southeast side of town, but we're picking up leaves on the northwest side of town. So we just kind of do a rotation throughout the city, so we might not get to you right away, and there's really no way for us to do that. This is the most efficient way over decades of providing this service that we have come to realize that's the best way to do it.
Very good. City job openings, any available?
You know, we do have some job openings right now, and we have a couple critical positions that I want to make your viewers aware of, because we're always looking for good qualified people to work for the city of Marion. I checked the unemployment rate numbers for the city and county of Marion for the month of October, and Marion County is under 5% unemployment.
Wow.
And that is outstanding. But what that means, it also means that it's harder to get good qualified people. So that's why we like to talk about the jobs and positions that we have. We still see lots of help wanted signs throughout our community, but understand that unemployment rate is very low. So we're doing really good when it comes to that. The two positions the city of Marion has open right now is a zoning compliance inspector. That's like a zoning enforcement officer. So we're looking for somebody who has the ability and the willingness to learn about the different types of zoning that we have in the city of Marion. Just to give you an example, we have residential zoning, we have commercial zoning, industrial zoning, and then within each one of those there are different categories. So there are certain things that you can do in residential that you can't do in commercial, that you can't do in industrial. So you're going to have to learn the zoning code and learn how to enforce that zoning code. And it's also a compliance officer. We also look at things like, do you have a junk car in your backyard that you're not supposed to have? Are you collecting trash and refuse in your yard that you're not supposed to do? We have really tried to make a concerted effort to clean up some of our neighborhoods using the Love Our Neighborhood program, using these zoning inspectors. So we already have one zoning inspector. We had a vacancy from the Love Our Neighborhood program, and we decided to create another zoning inspector position to fill the vacancy from our inspector that we had in another capacity. So those job openings open up just the other day. So you can apply anytime, online or in person, third floor of City Hall. You go up on the elevator, you take a quick left, then you take a quick right, and then you ask for our HR person, Amy O'Connor, and she'd be happy to help you fill out and get an application for the zoning compliance officer. You will have until December 1st to get those applications in, and we may extend that a little bit if we don't get a good crop of applications coming in. But there are certain qualifications. It is a full-time job with full-time benefits. You will be you will report to City Hall. You'll work closely with the safety director, the service director, the public works director, and you'll also work very closely with law director Mark Russell in his enforcement side of things, because you may be writing up people that need to be referred to the law director for prosecution in that area. The second job that we have is a case manager for the Marion City Probation Department, and that falls within the municipal court and Judge Teresa Ballinger. So I'm not as familiar with that because you'd report to the municipal court on the second floor of City Hall, but you can still fill out an application for a case manager's position in the Marion Municipal Court Probation Department at the same place where I told you on the third floor. Just ask for Amy O'Connor and she can help you out. She'll give you the details of what the hours are, what the benefits are, what the hourly pay is, or if it's a salaried position. Some of them might be, some of them might not be. It just depends upon the position. But we're looking for a couple highly qualified individuals that will help with our zoning compliance office so we can start to clean up some of the neighborhoods where we have had some challenges over the past few years.
So we're in the Thanksgiving and Christmas holiday period here. Any special hours that we need to be aware of? for City Hall?
Sure. And as always, we have holiday hours that we like to report out to folks. Thanksgiving first, because it's the closest holiday to us. We will be closed on City Hall on November 25th, which is Thanksgiving, and we'll also be closed Friday, November 26th for the Thanksgiving holiday. Now, some of our departments will be open. All departments in City Hall will be closed, such as City Hall, the Senior Center, Marion Area Transit are also closed on Friday. But on Friday the 26th, we will be picking up your trash. Obviously, we don't pick up trash on Thanksgiving Day. So if Thanksgiving Day, that Thursday, is your trash day, we'll do what we call a double day on Friday, and we'll pick up Thursday and Friday. So if your normal trash day is Friday, we may be a little bit slow getting to you because we're doing what we call that double day for Thanksgiving. So I always tell folks, call ahead if you think that you're going to have any business with city government to make sure that the office that you're looking for is open or not. So call first, but know that most of our offices will be closed on Thanksgiving and then the day after Thanksgiving. Of course, police and fire are 24/7, 365. We never close there. Also, just want to quickly mention, Christmas and New Year's are coming up as well, and we'll get more into more details on those holiday hours next month when we do the December program together. But we're closed, obviously, on Christmas Day. We close early Christmas Eve Day, and the same thing with New Year's Eve Day and, obviously, New Year's Day. But some of those days I just mentioned may fall on a Friday and Saturday, the way the calendar works this year. But we'll hit more detail on that later.
Okay. So we're coming up here at the beginning of the year, which means, I'm sorry, the end of the year, and then that means the beginning of 2022, and that means a new budget. So I'm assuming there's been a lot of work already been done and is now being done on the 2022 budget. Want to comment on that?
Yeah, most people don't understand how the city of Marion puts a budget together. I think it's important for everybody to understand. It is a team effort. It's not something just the mayor and his staff does. But we also play a big role in it. We rely on city council that will ultimately approve the budget. We rely on the city auditor that does revenue projections for 2022. So what happens normally is we start to put together this budget in late September, early October. We are behind schedule this year, but that doesn't worry me too much because we have a budget that's nearly ready to go to City Council, and that'll go to committee, the first committee of December. Now, the reason it doesn't worry me that much this year is because this year was an election year for City Council. So council cannot approve the budget until January 1st when the new council members are sworn in. So it gives us about an extra week to work on that budget. Our general fund budget is usually right around $18 million. That does police and fire and parks and rec and City Hall, a lot of our departments. And then we have another portion of the budget, what we call enterprise funds. That's sanitation and sewer and street department and wastewater treatment plant. So when we combine those two together, general and enterprise, you're talking about a $56 million city budget. So what we do is we have the department heads submit their budgets first, and then they sit with their directors, whether it's the public works director, the safety director, or the service director. And then we work with the city auditor to get all the positions in those departments added to that budget as well. And that would be the employees that we have and what their rates are of pay. And then we bring that budget to City Council, as I said, in the first committee of December. It gets passed out of committee. We'll have 2 hearings in December because we have 2 council meetings, and then we will convene on January 1st for the 3rd and final reading of the budget, and then hopefully the eventual passage of the 2022 budget. We're very optimistic. We think the revenues look very good. They are coming in really good in 2021 because of the low unemployment rate that I previously mentioned. And we expect that low unemployment rate to continue through 2022 because we still see all those help wanted signs out there. So I'm very optimistic about the 2022 budget and how things look financially when it comes to the 2022 budget.
Very good. We hear a lot about federal money that's going to become available to communities such as ours. It's called ARPA money. Is that money going to enable us to do things in our local infrastructure?
Yes, there's no doubt about it that we have already received our first installment of ARPA money.
Oh.
And there's actually legislation before City Council to spend about half of that first allocation. What we need to be careful of is it's not just open the floodgates and do what you want with this money. There are restrictions on this ARPA money, unlike the general fund dollars where we have a lot more flexibility with money that we collect just for the city of Marion. These are federal dollars, so we have to make sure they qualify. So we're looking at projects with City Council right now. We have some sewer projects that we want to do. We can do some reimbursements for overtime in the police and fire department. We can buy supplies for City Hall. We can do very minor City Hall capital improvements with this ARPA money as well. And then we're going to try and institute what I'll call a very proactive tree removal program. We've talked about this before, but we're fine-tuning this program, waiting for this local piece of legislation to pass, and hopefully that we can get some of these dead and dying trees in the tree lawn removed. Now, keep in mind, they have to be in the city's right-of-way.
Yeah.
They can't be in your backyard. That does not qualify. But we know that we need to remove a lot of these trees because they cause a great liability to the city if they would fall over or a limb falls or something like that.
Yes.
So very excited about the ARPA money. We'll get another allocation of about $1.8 million next year. And then we have until December 31st of 2024 to spend all the ARPA money. So we've got some time ahead of us so that we can all work together to do projects that are qualifiable.
Thank you very much. We have the next item here I want to talk about is the bill that was just recently signed by our president, and it's the infrastructure bill money. We're running short of time here, so let's wait till the end to see how much time we have for that. The next one I want to go to, though, is the project playground. I know that is a factor in our community. It's a very, very interesting thing. I'm not sure how many people are aware of that. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, well, Project Playground has been around for a long time. The Rotary Club financed the first one almost 30 years ago in McKinley Park. And that Project Playground just outlived its life expectancy. So there is a group called PEP, and they work on improving our parks in the city of Marion. And they went to the Rotary Club, and they applied for a Rotary Club grant that is paying for the bulk of this new Project Playground in McKinley Park. We removed the old one in probably the 1st of August of this year, and the new Project Playground is up and ready to be played on. I know it's late in the season, but hopefully it'll be here for the next 30 years. We've used a totally different kind of material for this new Project Playground compared to the old wood that we used many years ago. So excited about Project Playground. Want to thank the Marion Rotary Club for being the primary funders. Want to thank the Marion Community Foundation that stepped up to the plate when they needed that extra boost to raise enough money to finish the project. So it's good things happening in McKinley Park.
Those are the things that I know our viewers want to hear about, because when they want to take the kids and go out to the park and have a picnic and just enjoy the outing, those have to be done first before they can do that.
Yes.
So thank you very much. The holiday events coming up, I know that's a pretty full subject, but can you break it down for us?
Well, we'll just touch on a few of them right now, and because we're going to have some more of them in December. But let me tell you what, There are more holiday events going on in this community than I've ever seen before. And I'd like to thank Downtown Marion, Inc. for being the biggest driving force behind a lot of these holiday events. They are going to light the official Christmas tree for the city of Marion in Founders Park at 6 p.m. the day after Thanksgiving, November 26th. So that'll be kind of the official kickoff of the Christmas tree lighting.
Yeah.
And then they have an entire month of December going all the way up to the 18th of different events taking place. Of course, the first weekend of December, you've got the historic Peanut Push.
Yeah.
How can you miss the Peanut Push, folks? That's where the mayor gets down on his hands and knees and he pushes a peanut across the street with his nose.
Yes.
For charity.
Yes.
No other place in the world can you find that. And that first weekend of December is also the Christmas at the Palace, which is a long-standing tradition in the Marion community. So we kick it off on November the 26th. We really crank it up that first weekend of December, and then we work our way into the Christmas holiday season, and hopefully everybody will be able to come downtown and participate. We've got churches that are doing things in Founders Park. We had a church last year, the First Church of Nazarene, that did a lot. Now we have other churches coming into the park doing other things. So we're really excited about all of the activities that will be taking place. The Christmas parade is supposed to kick off at noon on December the 4th. The Christmas parade's been a bit of a challenge the past few years. A lot of organizing, getting people involved, and just finding the volunteers that help put that on has been a challenge. Santa will be in Founders Park on December the 4th and every weekend afterwards. So bring the kids down for Santa. And then other events and other shopping opportunities and eating opportunities will take place in downtown Marion to celebrate the Christmas season in Marion, Ohio. And we hope for the same kind of weather that we have today when I walked in. Beautiful day, sunny, no snow.
Yes, yeah. We have a very rich tradition and events here in the Marion area, and it's nice to just hover over them for a while, every once in a while, to take note of them. The item that I mentioned before that we address now, the Congress passed a bill. It was signed into law recently, just a day or so ago. It's an infrastructure bill, and obviously that means parks, roads, airports, bridges, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's a pretty broad subject. That money, some of that money is going to be available to us. How is that going to benefit us?
Well, what we're going to try and figure out here very soon is exactly how does the city of Marion apply for or gain access to the monies in this infrastructure bill. We've all watched the evening news over the past few weeks, and there was like, are they going to pass it? Aren't they going to pass it? They finally did. It was a bipartisan bill. Infrastructure is always very popular. We are really going to look at doing additional sewer replacement projects in the city of Marion, because that is our biggest need when it comes to infrastructure right now, is replacing our 75, 85, 95, 100-year-old sewers that are just old and out of date and not working for us anymore. So that'll be the big thing for the city of Marion, is how do we apply for? How do we qualify? Do we have shovel-ready projects? The answer is yes, we do. We've been planning to replace our sewer infrastructure since I became mayor. In fact, when Jack Kellogg was mayor, they were doing sewer projects, and we ramped it up in my term as mayor. And this infrastructure bill hopefully will give us an opportunity to do even more sewer projects, more infrastructure. It not only includes public transportation, which we have Marion Area Transit. It'll include Wi-Fi and better connectivity for folks who do more work from home. Of course, we had a lot of our students working at home last year. We don't want to go through that again, but they should be able to be at home and log on to do their homework at night, because all of these students have take-home computers now.
Yes.
And if you're not connected, you can't do your homework and you're not getting ahead in education. So just a few examples of the monies that we're going to be looking at to try and get to Marion. And I am very hopeful that we normally do 2 sewer projects, sometimes 3 a year. I'd like to see us in the neighborhood of 5 sewer projects. Now,
Wow.
we probably won't be able to start these sewer projects until late 2023,
Yeah.
but we'll be ready to go. So 23, 24, and maybe 25, we can get some more sewer projects done and get that infrastructure replaced in our community.
So that was a question I was going to ask, and I don't recall that you actually answered it, so I'll ask the question. The money will be available in what time frame?
Well, that's what we don't know yet.
Okay.
And that's kind of, the bill was just signed the other day.
Yeah.
So we're kind of still waiting to see. What normally happens is those billions of dollars are divided among the states.
Yeah.
And then the states figure out how they want to allocate those monies into local government. Plus, the states keep a little bit for themselves to do highway projects
Sure.
and bridge projects. So it all gets distributed out. So I'm hoping in 2022, we'll figure out how that distribution of billions of dollars will get out to the states. The states will get it to the local governments, and then we can start turning dirt in 2023 would be my hope.
So between now and then, as you've already outlined, there are needs, and you define the needs, and then it's just a matter of plugging the money into the needs as the money becomes available. Probably, is that simple?
Yeah, it is that simple. We've had a long-term control plan that the city did with our sewer infrastructure a few years back, and every sewer project we do fits into what we call that long-term control plan.
Yes.
That long term of controlling sanitary and storm sewer water that is in the city of Marion.
And every time a project is taken, it obviously satisfies a need, but it's also factored in concert with, as you're referring to, the overall plan. In other words, it's all comprehensive, and the whole thing is benefiting and enriching the community.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And it's not just a plan that we made up on our own. This is a plan, the long-term control plan is submitted to the Ohio EPA to meet the specifications that they have when it comes to our wastewater and our stormwater.
So there's a very large amount of thought goes into these things, and I just want, for the benefit of the viewer, there's a very large amount of thought goes into this. A lot of planning. Nothing is knee-jerk, and it's just, we are grateful to have a administrative structure in place, people, planners, etc., to be able to make this all happen. We are now out of time. It's time for me to thank you once again for coming. It's been a very cogent and coherent conversation here, and we thank you folks very much for tuning in and being with us and participating with us by your viewership. Again, I am your host in this public affairs episode. I am your host. My name is John Peterson. Thank you, folks.